Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our Plant of the Week podcast, brought to you by Bonide Products, family made in America. Visit Bonide.com to find a retailer near you. Each week, Plant Talk Radio's Fred Hauer focuses on a plant that would be a great addition to your landscape. Now for this week's Bonide Products Plant of the Week. Fred, I wanted to ask you about something. You always list everything that's in color. Mm-hmm. And I was looking here, and I saw one that I have never heard you talk about before, and that is Aralia Sun King.
Well, it's an interesting plant, Mark, and it's one that is the family Aralia, or the genus actually, is not new. There are many cultivars within that. And then someone was lucky enough to find and or breed to get what is called Sun King. It acts like a perennial. It's a soft-wooded plant, if you will. It dies to the ground, and I'm expecting mine to do so with about the third heavy freeze, because one of the attributes of that plant is it will handle some shade, and because it handles some shade and has a very bright gold leaf, it can just say, check in on you from the shade. The one I got 2 years ago is... under the edge of flying crab on the north side. It's a plant with golden leaves. It is principally leaf. The flower is on it right now, and the flower is very inconspicuous. Same color as the leaf and so on. Not at all showy. But for growing in light shade and brightening a corner, so to speak, or an area under my flowering crab, it is just absolutely magnificent. Now, out in the sun, it will be more golden, but at the same time, I just, so to speak, discovered it 2 years, maybe even 3 years ago, and love it so much, so to speak, that I put another one in on the other side of the yard, so that, like I propose in many cases, you spread things out maybe 3 places in the yard, the same plant, so that the eye travels at the time of bloom or leaf or whatever, travels to these individual plants. And I'm using it to sparkle up some shady areas. Right now, in its, I think, third year, it's standing approximately 3 feet tall. It's probably 3.5 or so feet wide. Beautiful golden leaves, 2.5, 3 inches long, and just a fine plant so far. Now, do be ready to cut it off to the ground come spring or way late fall after it has quit growing, because it will die to the ground. It's a herbaceous perennial, so to speak, and it just does a fine job in that kind of a setting, as well as being out in the full sun.
Thanks again for listening to our podcast, brought to you by Bonide Products at Bonide.com. Plant Talk Radio offers other podcasts as well, including our daily Your Gardening Question podcast and our weekly Plant Talk Radio, all available on iTunes or your preferred podcast player. If you have a plant suggestion for Fred, send him an email, fred@planttalkradio.com.